Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Browns AFC-NFC Super Wild Card uh, uh, update show. We'll talk about the game and what we expect. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Super Wild Card trivia question. And it's a Cleveland Browns trivia question. What Cleveland Browns running back rushed for 890 yards in the 1994 season? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Well, it's NFL Super Wild Card weekend, and the Browns take on the Houston Texans in the first AFC Wild Card game today, and they're doing that right now at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. And this is the Browns' first time back in the playoffs in 3 years since the 2020 NFL season. And with these playoffs, it's win or go home, to say the least. And right now, it's 7-3 Browns. First quarter with 44 seconds to go, second down, and I think Houston has the ball right now. I think uh, with all the injuries the Browns have suffered this season, it's only fitting that they took one hit before they board the plane Friday for their wild card game in Houston, which was yesterday. During Thursday's practice, the final full practice in preparation for the game, number one quarterback Denzel Ward suffered a knee injury and had to cut the season short. He was limited on the injury report and is listed, my God, as questionable for the game. Uh, for the game, which is right now. Uh, his availability could come to a game time decision, and they did activate him today, so he is playing Denzel Ward. And so, well, the Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said that Ward was limited in practice, but offered no other details. The team officially listed Ward as questionable. Ward was named to his third Pro Bowl while playing a key role on the NFL's number one ranked defense. Ward has two interceptions on the season. The Browns Thursday also ruled out safety Grant Dopit, who has a groin injury, kicker Dustin Hopkins, who has a hamstring, and wide receiver Cedric Tillman. As concerns continue to linger for the Cleveland Browns, we are we're playing right now at Houston Texans. The game is officially underway, and the playoffs are here from, uh, and uh, and so and the team has traveled to Texas. They're in Texas right now, taking on the Texans. Now, the Browns' final injury report came out and included three players out. Reported three players included out: kicker Dustin Hopkins, safety Grant Dopa, and wide receiver Cedric Tillman. Cleveland also listed four players questionable, including three in the secondary: cornerback Denzel Ward, cornerback Mike Ford, safety Jawan Thornhill, and running back Pierre Strong. On Friday, the day before the wild card game in Houston, the Browns elevated two players off their practice squad: kicker Riley Patterson, who was filling in for Dustin Hopkins, and running back John Kelly Jr. Patterson's elevation was certain with Hopkins out, but Kelly's seems to provide some injury indications. First, not elevating anyone from the secondary seems to indicate that Ward, Ford, and Thornhill, or at least two out of the three, will be available on Saturday. Second, Kelly's evaluation could indicate that Strong would be able to play. Uh, it's also possible that Kelly will be able to help on special teams and allow Cleveland's running backs uh, to stay fresh for the offense throughout the game. And now, the Cleveland Browns are in unfamiliar unfamiliar territory in the possible way. The uh, pre the uh, per per the pre per perennially disappointing NFL franchise is making its second playoff appearance since 2020 after experiencing a 17-year playoff drought from 2003 to 2019. It's one of just four teams, along with the Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Houston Texans, who have never appeared in a Super Bowl. That has produced a shocking but perhaps not surprising betting stat. Through 12 qualifying games, Cleveland has never been a road playoff favorite in the Super Bowl era. That changes Saturday when the Browns visit NRG Stadium in Houston, which they're playing right now. Uh, uh, at and as 2 point 2 point favorites for ESPN bet odds. The last time Cleveland was favored in a playoff game uh, and in any capacity was during the 1994 wild card round against the New England Patriots, a game that ended up being Bill Belichick's only postseason win as Browns head coach. Now, sports books aren't reading too heavily into Cleveland's pitiful past in January. Uh, History to us doesn't play a part in line making. We concentrate on two teams, the way they are built and the way they are playing today. DraftKings director of race and sports operations, Johnny Avello, told ESPN. Uh, the Browns deserve to be the favorite. Uh, they have a little bit higher power ranking. They have a little bit more experience, and their defense is one of the best in the league. What they don't have here is home field advantage. If they were playing this game at home, they probably would have been 4 or 5 point favorites. A 4 or 5 point favorite, excuse me. Opinions vary on how this line should have been under the circumstances. Caesar Sportsbook odd makers, for example, made this game anywhere between Browns -3 and Pick'em. Most books opened the line at Cleveland 1-5 favorites, but quickly pushed up to as high as 3 before uh, stabilizing around 2 or 2.5 market wide. And Houston kicked another field goal, so it's 10-7 Houston. Second quarter, 14:53 to go till halftime. And Browns, you need to score again, boys. Let's hopefully the Browns can score, and I do believe the Browns have the ball right now. And so, uh, clearly the market is buying into the Browns' redemption storyline, according to FanDuel. Caesars bet MGM and point bet at minimum. Cleveland is attracting 65% of the of the tickets and 66% of the handle to cover the spread at maximum. Oh, the Browns have the ball and it's third down. So, boys, we got to score. Let's hope the Browns can score with 14 minutes left till halftime in the second quarter. It's taking 80% of the bets and 84% of the money. Houston is not among DraftKings' top three most bet to win outright, with the Steelers plus 400, Rams plus 140, and Packers plus 275, garnering most tickets. And Caesar reports a $145,000 bet, money line at 145 to win $100,000. Additionally, DraftKings and BetMGM both report that Browns and Texans is their most bet game of the weekend thus far, with Cleveland being the most bet team. Bets and handle in some capacity at both books, though it's worth nothing that it's the first game of the postseason. With the state of Ohio in full swing in the full swing of sports betting after legalizing just over a year ago, the favor the the fever around the Browns has uh, certainly been prevalent in the state, but has also tricked out of the rest of the country. Uh, and and excuse me, and betting on local teams is higher in Cleveland and the other cities in the state, said Tipico VP of Marketing Brian Becker, meaning that Cleveland bettors across Ohio mix their fandom into their betting behavior more than those in other states. And the Browns just scored a touchdown, and it's now 13-10, and I think they're going to get an extra point out of it. I don't think they're going to go for a 2-point conversion. They're probably going to go for an extra point. Uh, they're almost like America's team in a way. Avello said it's a team that has been embraced by everybody. No, but by people who are by everybody. No, but people who are rooting for them feel sorry for them, whatever that may be. And Nebraska, the extra point was good. It's 14-10 Browns. Second quarter. All right. Emotional sentiments aside, it may be justified. The Browns have covered 6 straight games as favorites and have gone 4-0 against the spread with Joe Flacco under center. Flacco's redemption arc is gaining steam in the props market too, as Bets MGM reports that a league leading 140% of tickets are on the veteran to lead the playoffs in passing yards at 12-1 odds. The resource of Joe Flacco has been a major storyline in the back half of the season of the NFL season, excuse me, and the public expects this to continue as teams win. A Texans win, excuse me, would be good for the trading team, and said a FanDuel trader. If Cleveland can live up to the expectations and advance, it would create some havoc for the Bucks. Since Sunday, DraftKings has taken bets on the Browns to win the AFC than any other team. So I really think the Browns will get the win against the Texans today, but a lot of bets on the Browns today. That's one of the why I wanted to mention that. Uh, and right now we're going to get to the just a little bit of a preview. See someone we expect in just a moment. Right now it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 Browns AFC NFC Super Wild Card trivia question. It's a Browns trivia question, as I said. What Cleveland Browns running back rushed for 890 yards in the 1994 season? And if you said Leroy Horde, you are correct. Leroy Horde rushed for 890 yards during the 1994 season for the Cleveland Browns. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that. And C.J. Stroud and the rest of the Houston Texans, Houston's and the rest of Houston's rookies, excuse me, and started a group chat soon after the draft to discuss their goals. And we were like, man, we're going to be the foundation that changes this thing around. And lo and behold, that's what came to be true, Stroud said. And it happened much quicker than most anyone predicted for the Texans, who were 10-7 on the season, who will return to the playoffs for the first time since 2019 when they host our Cleveland Browns, which they're doing right now. But the Browns are leading 14-10 with 12:13 to go in the second quarter until halftime. Houston has the ball. And the Browns were 11-6 on the season in the wild card round. Saturday playing in wild card right now. Stroud, the second overall pick, is the only rookie starting quarterback to make the playoffs this season, and the 22-year-old will face off against the oldest QB in the postseason in Cleveland's Joe Flacco, who turns 39 in 3 days after the game. Stroud will face the Browns for the first time. He missed Houston's 36-22 loss to them on December 24th, Christmas Eve day. While recovering from a concussion, the Texans were also missing rookie defensive end Will Anderson Jr., the number 3 pick in the draft, and linebacker Blake Cashman in that game. Cleveland knows it will be a challenge to contain C.J. Stroud, who has thrown for 4,108 yards with 23 touchdowns. Houston just scored, and they kicked an extra point. Now it's 17-14 Houston. Boy, this lead has been seesawing back and forth this first half. And boy, this game is a challenge for the Browns today. And he's awesome, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said. I remember watching him early because we had some crossover tape and getting ready to play Baltimore. I know this was his first game, and I think even in that game, you saw some plays and some throws where you knew right away that kid was really, really talented. Stroud's emergence has transformed a team that had combined for just 7 wins in the previous 2 seasons. The Texans' run of fertility included some drama with Deshaun Watson, who refused to play after requesting a trade. He was later traded to Cleveland, and he's been out for the rest of the season. And that's why Flacco was signed. And Watson was under center for the Texans during their last playoff run in 2019, but played just 6 games for the Browns this season before having a season-ending shoulder surgery after the backups on the Browns roster didn't work out. Cleveland signed Flacco off the street. Flacco went 4-1 as a starter to help the Browns to just their 3rd playoff appearance since their 1999 expansion rebirth, but 2nd in 4 seasons under Stefanski. This will be Flacco's 17th postseason game. He didn't play in his final one with the Ravens in 2019 and his 16th playoff start. His first playoff game was on January 4th, 2009, when the Ravens beat the Dolphins 27-9, and Stroud was just 8 years old. Flacco was asked about the importance of playoff experience, and I'm sure there's a level of importance to it in the terms of letting the football game come to you. He said, not necessarily riding too high and riding too low when things happen, realizing that it is another football game. But ultimately, the most important thing in playoff games is executing your fundamentals to the highest degree. And I don't think that necessarily takes experience to do it. It just takes you staying level-headed and playing within yourself. Houston's first-year coach, uh, uh, Demeco Ryans, who turned 39 in July, balked when a reporter called Flacco old before joking about it. Uh, it's impressive that Joe is still operating at a high level, Ryan said. There is no let up in the arm strength, the decision making, it's all still elite at a high level. So it is impressive to see a guy as young as he is making plays. But he's the reason why the team is in the position they're in right now because he has that experience. He's been there before, and I know that those guys believe in him. Road warrior, and he is a road warrior. Flacco uh, never matched Tom Brady's record of 7 Super Bowl wins, and it's unlikely Cleveland's quarterback will still be playing at 45 like Brady did. But Flacco can surpass Brady this week in one department. Flacco has 7 playoff road wins, tying him with Brady for the most in league history. Those victories include uh, two against Brady in New England, and one in 2000 in the 2009 season, and another 3 years later in the AFC Championship game. Flacco and the Ravens went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Flacco, who is 7-5 on the road, the Super Bowl is considered a neutral site. Said the key to travel success is keeping things simple. It just goes back to doing the basics the right way, not overthinking what it means to go on the road, just going and playing a good football game, Flacco said. And when the dust settles, you just pick your head up and see where you are. Even if they get past the Texans, the Browns could spend the entire postseason on the road. Flacco's experience there could come in handy to a point. Uh, I think it's going to help a lot, wide receiver Amari Cooper said, but nothing really matters. You have to live in the moment, but where your feet are, uh, be where your feet are, excuse me. The future, is all about the present. Uh, though it's been 4 years since the Texans were in the playoffs, there's hardly any one remaining on the roster from the 2019 team, which beat Buffalo before falling to Kansas City. The only holdovers are left tackle Laramie Tunsil, long snapper John Winks, and kicker uh, Kayami Fairbairn. It's a blessing to be in this position after 4 years of tough football, Tunsil said. Just got to be thankful for where I'm at and just be thankful for this opportunity. The Browns finished their recent win over the Texans without a kicker or a punter. Things are slightly better for Cleveland now. And kicker Dustin Hopkins is out with a hamstring injury. Uh, he sustained on an ill-advised, fruitless chase of Houston's Damian Pierce on a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Cleveland special teams uh, issues multiple when punter Corey uh, Juarez, who also holds a who also holds hurt his uh, quadriceps. quadriceps. Uh, they They forced Stefanski to go for 2-point conversions and tried to convert on every fourth down in the second half. Things got so desperate that safety DeAnthony Bell kicked off. At one point, tight end David Njoku begged Stefanski to let him kick. On Saturday, Riley Patterson, who kicked for Jacksonville in last year's playoffs, will handle the kicking duties. Bork was returned last week and is good to go. So it's 17-14 right now. Houston has the ball because the Browns went 3 and out. 10-10 to go till halftime, just a little over 10 minutes to go. Well, actually, I'm going to say 10 minutes to go till halftime. Hopefully the Browns can get the lead before halftime and hopefully hold on to it in the second half. So we shall see. And it's a 3rd and 13 at the Houston. At Houston. And right now, I'm going to give my picks real quick here, and I'm going to let you know the other games. I have got Houston to beat the Browns. Cleveland to beat Houston. Excuse me. Let me start that again. Here are my picks. I've got Cleveland to beat Houston. I'm taking the Browns. I'm taking KC to beat Miami. Buffalo to beat Green Bay. The Bills and the Steelers are playing at Highmark Stadium. And the Dolphins and Chiefs playing at Arrowhead Stadium. And for tomorrow's games, one I already said, the Bills and Steelers. I'm taking the Cowboys to beat the Packers and Big D tomorrow at AT&T Stadium. I'm taking the Lions to beat the Rams at Ford Field in Detroit tomorrow. And on Monday, I am taking the Eagles to beat the Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium. And we could either face Kansas City or Miami, or possibly Pittsburgh, depending on the outcome of these games. So we shall see. And I have this feeling the Browns are going to make a deep run in the playoffs. And don't ask me why I have this feeling, but I do. And I think the Browns will get the win over the Texans. I'm going Browns 24, Texans 21. So we'll see if that holds. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101. Browns AFC-NFC Super Wild Card update show, and I'll be back with the post-game show, the Browns AFC-NFC Super Wild Card post-game show once this game between the Browns and Texans has concluded, and I'll preview the Kansas City Chiefs Miami Dolphins playoff game. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done. Go Browns!